Hi there. So, there's a lot of usage of synonyms or words that mean the same. Why are they needed? So, when it comes to IELTS, in listening and reading, at times the questions are rephrased and you need to know what it means. So, there comes the usage of synonyms or the need to know what a word and other words that mean the same are. So, moving on to the other modules of IELTS, when it comes to writing, it's very important that you know different words or words that mean the same, so that to rephrase the introduction or to rephrase and restate the conclusion, or overall to improve the quality of your writing and of course in speaking, so that you will have a lot of words. And a lot of the students are asking us how they can improve with regards to vocabulary. And so this is just one way. So sir would be helping us with a couple of words that mean the same, synonyms.
Yes, I hope to. Namaste. Now, I find it strange when you call me sir, because sir sometimes can be a title. Can you imagine me being called sir and being crossed with a sword by Her Majesty the Queen? Well,
That's
there you
how
go.
It works here.
That's right. So you see, it has different meanings in different contexts, but it covers a load of sins. Let me just take out the first of these as, let's say, an example. Objective, yes. Yeah. It can mean aim. Okay? It is my objective, my aim to reach the higher standard. Ambition. It is my objective to become a doctor within 4 years.
So these are just words that mean the same.
More or less the same, but you've got to be careful of the context that you're using it in. Okay? If, for example, you say, you use the term objective in mind, and it refers to end, okay? It may not mean the end of the journey or the end of your effort or the end of your purpose. All right? It may just mean the end of a series, the end meaning this is all that it's going to, and so on and so forth. So you could say, well, that's the end of it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't mean that everything has stopped at that stage and it's not going to progress. No.
But rather the objective has been met.
That's
so
right.
Reached the end
That's
of
right.
It.
Okay.
Yes.
So that there are lots of words like that, and I will just mention a few. It's a goal, it's an intention, it's purpose, yes. It's a target, yes. It's impartial, yes. Well, to try and be impartial, yes. Unbiased, another. Unprejudiced, yes. Logical, well, maybe not. But yes. The objective is to be logical so that it is understood, so that what you're communicating is clear and plain. Now, you've got so many other words also, which are commonly used or provided to you to answer in the IELTS course. For example, progress. Now, I just read out again some of the words that they have used as synonyms to progress. For example, advance, betterment, development, flourish, improvement. Now, you might have also noticed that there is a change of emphasis in each word that I use. So, the change of emphasis can also denote a change of meaning. All right? It depends upon the context in which you use it. But make it simple. That is the whole objective of showing that you have got control of the language, or you have got some good grasp of it. Okay? So progress is, you can also say, development. All right? So it doesn't necessarily become a contained word by having only certain meanings. All right, so it can fluctuate. So don't get complicated. Progress, yes, Abraham Verghese is making good progress in class 4. Simple as that.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, perception. Perception has got also the meaning of having to get an understanding behind what is said, getting a clear view of what is actually going on. He has got a good perception, all right, of what took place during the night. His perception is very good. He's a very perceptive person, all right? And the other words that can be used, which you can see from the words that I have used, is also closely attached to those words that I'm going to read out to you. They are, for example, awareness, comprehension. Now again you see perception being comprehension. Comprehension means understanding. To comprehend. But comprehension is also a way of saying that the person has got the perceptibility to understand what it is. All right? So he has comprehended it. Then you got insight. I referred to that earlier. Okay? Intuition. Well, I am not 100% sure whether intuition is sufficient enough to cover it, but I would go with it and say yes, intuition also is there. But intuition is something that is actually a different area from perception in the mind. It is an instinct, okay? Whereas a perception is actually something that is built up inside you from experience, from knowledge, from the circumstances, etc., to achieve a certain view, to have a certain objective.
Rather than understanding.
That's right. Rather than just an intuition. Well, an intuition is like having a bet. I suspect tomorrow is going to be a good day. Okay?
Okay.
And it's that gut feeling, okay, which is primarily what you would call as an intuition.
Just to summarize again as to what you're doing, so we need a good command of these synonyms in order to have a better
understanding of the English language.
Of the English language as a whole. So we're just going through a couple of words that would be useful for you. Moving on, the next one is understand. It is a simple word, so...
Understand.
Yeah.
I understand you.
Yes. So
I understand English. I understand the way of life that people lead in England. Okay? Now, understand is being said also as to assume. But, yes, it can be used as understand, but assume also depends upon the presumptions that you make in order to assume. So you use assume, yes, in the understanding of that word understand, but its context changes and therefore its meaning changes accordingly. But again, don't get complicated. Make it simple.
Yes.
All right? And
I could quickly read the words out for you.
Yeah, exhaustive.
Comprehend, gather, infer, learn, apprehend, assimilate. So these are just a couple of words that are used on the lines of understand.
Right, then exhaustive.
Then exhaustive, which some other words that are similar to this are complete, comprehensive, in-depth, profound, searching, thorough. So these are again, any comments on any of these words?
Yes, just not on those words itself. You see, the idea of being exhaustive is that you have covered everything possible, right? So sometimes when I say, what I say is not exhaustive, it means I have not reached the outer limits of what all that particular word means, all right? So when I've reached the outer limits, I have exhausted my abilities to explain it to you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving on, intelligence. I feel this has a very nice set of Words acumen, comprehension again, insight, intellect, reasoning ability. I feel this is one interesting set of similar words for intelligence. Any comments on these?
Well, yes. Now, another thing that I hope you'll have picked up is that intelligence has comprehension.
Yeah.
Exhaustive has comprehensive. Okay. Understand has comprehend. Right. Perception has comprehension. So you see,
All are similar.
all are similar. Okay. And there are common themes, but if used in a different context, it means something different.
The meaning totally changes.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, so there we got intelligence.
yes.
Acumen, yes. Remember this, intelligence is not wisdom.
Yeah, there's a difference between both of them.
Yeah. Okay, so wisdom is actually a sort of ultimate in the use of your intelligence with the use of many other factors in order to achieve wisdom.
Okay, so quickly going over through the rest of the words. Ethics, I
Yes,
think it's
good.
pretty simple,
That's
right?
right, yes.
Ethical motive, values, sense of right and wrong,
Yes.
conscience.
Conscience, yes, indeed.
Yes, and assumption, again, as discussed earlier. Conclusion, presumption, basically something that you assume,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Moving on quickly, the world is pretty simple. Unity, governments, space exploration, problem. Yes, so this
The
is
world,
yeah,
the earth, cosmos.
yeah. So I just moved on a bit lower to
Yeah.
the rest of the words. So problem is a word that comes quite often in some questions. So the synonyms for that are concern, issue, worries, disaster, threat, hazard. Any comments on them?
You could also say problem. I was thinking about issue actually. A problem is something that is there disturbing the normality of your ways. And so it is creating a situation that you need to solve.
Okay.
That is a problem.
Yes. So moving on quickly, there are a couple of terms. What is culture? And we have some related words for that. Are you with me? So what
Yeah,
do
you see, I mean, that is a very strong word, culture. It has different meanings in different contexts of history. What we can say with definitiveness or definitiveness, and most people today accept it, is that the two most ancient cultures in the world, in fact, the most ancient culture in the world, is the Indian civilization. The second is Chinese. Other civilizations call themselves civilizations, but only born yesterday. And you will see that the Greek and the Roman civilizations are no more heard of. But today, you still have the continuation after thousands and thousands of years of the Indian civilization. There has been continuation. And similarly also, to a lesser degree, the Chinese civilization. Okay? So be clear about that. Never mind if people say that, yes, it's the English civilization, yes, it's American civilization. You see, they also make attempts to change and give it a cultural slant by having to adopt different spellings for the same language.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Different pronunciations for the same language. Different contexts for the environment in which they live in. Same words in English has a different meaning in Australia sometimes, in New Zealand sometimes, in Canada sometimes, in America and in Britain. Okay?
Yes. Education.
Education, yes. That also contains a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go to class, it doesn't stop you from being educated. There are many people who have never seen the doors of a school and are educated in the most fantastic way to become super human beings by their very nature, their calmness, their collectiveness, and their knowledge. Okay? And which leads then to wisdom. It doesn't mean that just because you learn in class that what you learn is absolutely the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. No, it is the truth maybe at that given point of time. With time, that may also change. All right?
Yes.
So bear in mind that nature and culture, especially culture,
Yeah.
is got to do with also a particular way that a society behaves.
Got it.
Okay? So that is very important.
Yeah. Moving on, now we have future. Yeah. There are a couple of words that are similar to this. So we have forthcoming, imminent, impending, posterity, and anticipated.
Yes, I don't know how forthcoming is
Something that's-
so close to, or rather a synonym of future. I'm not too certain about it, but to me, forthcoming is something like being open. Somebody who, doesn't wait to be told, what to do. He's forthcoming. He takes the step in the right direction in what he or she wishes to say. Whereas if I talk about future, it is related to something that we don't know about. We might think we know at this point in referring to the future, but we don't know the future. It is vague, it's uncertain, it's unpredictable. It is fate. All right? So that's why I have a slight hesitation with the idea of forthcoming in relating it as a synonym of future.
Any last few words that you'd like to choose from?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yes.
And then,
Information, intelligence, data, evidence.
I would like contradict
Okay.
and industrious. Just three more.
Just three more. Okay,
Yeah.
coming back to knowledge, information, intelligence, data,
Yeah.
evidence, facts, awareness.
Yes. Now, for example, over here, now don't forget I'm speaking extempore, and I'm having a quick look at it. I've never not seen these topics before in this context. All right. I've heard, and I know, I think the topic of synonyms, which is what we're talking about. But there are some words that don't ring a bell with me properly. For example, with knowledge, this says it's data, right? But
Yeah.
data is actually static. It is static. It is established over there, whereas knowledge is a continuous process. The same thing that is knowledge today may not be knowledge tomorrow. Okay? In other words, information that leads to knowledge may change from today till tomorrow, and that other information that comes tomorrow creates a different knowledge. Whilst data is static, yes, you do change data. Yes, it does form a basis for other conclusions. But the word data itself to me means something static. I stand to be corrected, and I'm very happy to hear different opinions about it. But I still feel that it just doesn't gel with the idea of knowledge, because data gives you information. Information that can be translated into knowledge, but it's information knowledge. It's knowledge, not knowledge per se, as I understand it.
Got it.
That's why I took the issue.
Moving on to contradict,
Contradict, oppose, disclaim,
deny,
resist, refute, dispute.
Yes.
Well, I would just use the word contradict and relate it to refute. Okay? Yes, that's a nice reply. He has refuted that contradiction. And it's an apt response to describe contradict. Okay? Now, that's the kind of word that immediately rings a bell with me and says, oh, yes, absolutely right. He's refuted that well, he's answered that well, he's challenged it well, or she has done it, okay? In fact, she has done it also by its, maybe it's a phrase, also establishes that same meaning. Okay.
Correct. And the last one that for the day,
Industrious.
industrious.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Again,
Yep.
I'm delighted to say that there is a lovely word there called diligent.
Yes.
Okay? Hardworking, diligent, assiduous, zealous, dedicated. Okay? Now, actually, if you look at all those words, each one of them can be used in different contexts.
Yeah.
Okay? But industrious is more, it somehow brings into my mind the feeling of physical use. Industrious.
Hardworking.
Hardworking.
Yeah.
Okay? Diligent means a person who's careful, doing things soundly in a rational, proper way.
Careful manner.
Okay? To become very rational or to achieve a rational result. So there I see the distinction. But don't forget, diligent is a very nice word, and it also shows an element of power being used in it. He works diligently, okay? In other words, he works with great effort, okay? He's expending energy, or she's expending energy. So yes, there I can find that one similarity sometimes contradicts the other, but nevertheless, they are good words to describe industrious.
Yes. So with that, we come to an end of a couple of words to improve your vocabulary or lexical resource. So as you know, B-GHUD is one of the only institutes with their own book, or a set of books to be frank, and if in case you have the 18th edition of our book, we refer to page 235 right now. So this is in the 18th edition, but the same page is there in other editions. It's titled Similar and Related Words. So we hope you found this useful, and that's all from us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.